The President CEO, Mr. Ed Tanser, please come forward.
Good afternoon. Congratulations to all of our board members, those of you renewing your terms, and here we go into a brand new year. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Ed Tanser. Many of you know professionally. He is the chairman of the board of the Education Foundation. It's a pleasure to actually take more than my usual allotted 4 minutes. What I'm going to do in the next few minutes is just give you an overview of the Education Foundation, the programs that we will be funding in the 2018-2019 year, and really highlighting the value we believe we bring to the school district of Palm Beach County. It starts with our mission statement, and I'm not going to be pedantic and read the whole thing, but I think the key here is our goal is to bring the business community to the world of education. As we have just heard, when we look at the budgets that are coming from Tallahassee, certainly somewhere we have to fill the gap. We, the Education Foundation, go out into the business community, connect to our local leaders of business who are passionate about public education, and have them come in and support the various programs. As you look at our board, you'll notice that some of the key businesses in our community are represented. To my right, Gunster, J.P. Morgan Chase, United Healthcare, BDO, LRP Media Group, Wells Fargo, Office Depot, RSM, Florida Power and Light, Kaiser University, Johnson Controls, Aerojet Rocketdyne, PNC Bank, Cancer Treatment Centers of America, and of course the Business Development Board itself. So you will see that most of the major businesses in Palm Beach County are represented. We have a 7-person staff. I'll address that shortly. We have 2 primary affiliations at the Education Foundation. First and foremost is our partnership with the CFEF, the Consortium of Florida Education Foundations. This, as a group, gives us a little bit more sway in Tallahassee when we go up and speak to our local legislators. More importantly, by being part of the CF, we are accessing matching dollars. Each year, as part of the state budget, they allot a certain amount to education foundations. It's then apportioned out based on population. For example, this year, we're allotted $229,809.24. The key is we have to go out then and match that with local dollars, dollar for dollar. We were able to do that, and in fact, they came back to us shortly thereafter and offered what we call second-round funding. As you can imagine, many of the education foundations were simply not able to match those dollars. Those go back into the pot and are reapportioned to the foundations that are using those. And we were given an additional $9,000 to use for program. But again, I repeat, we had to match that dollar for dollar with local dollars. Our second primary affiliation is the Kids in Need Foundation. I can proudly and happily tell you that on January 1st, we will be granted full affiliate status. Kids in Need Foundation is a national organization that partners with Hobby Lobby, Target, Joann's Fabrics, and they give quite a bit of school supplies to the various Restore stores, including our own Red Apple Supply Store. Let's now look at our 2 basic operations. The Education Foundation is a grant-making organization, and we also operate Red Apple Supply Store. Let's talk about our grant-making first. There are 3 basic buckets of grants that we are able to bring to the school district. The first is the one I alluded to earlier, the matching grant program. This is our partnership with the state of Tallahassee, the CFEF, and this year we're funding 7 primary programs. Very briefly, I'll walk you through them. Our first is Charging Forward with Multisensory Strategies. What I've done in this presentation, ladies and gentlemen, is identify the local business partner who provided the matching dollars. Because again, I want you to see those relationships that we have cultivated in our community and how passionate they are about public education. Our local match there is the Ventus Charitable Foundation. This is a program where we're partnering with the University of Central Florida, their Mordridge International Reading Center, to focus on children who have some type of learning disability, primarily language-based. They're identifying children who may be dyslexic as early as kindergarten or first grade. We have awarded a $34,000 grant to the school district to fund that pilot program. Our second major grant program with funding from Quantum Foundation, and happily I can tell you this is a 2-year grant, the Healthcare Innovation Project, working with Dr. Benavente, who is one of our rock stars. We are providing a number of, we used to call them dummies, now they're healthcare simulators, where Dr. Benavente can take these simulators to the actual schools and the children can do their hands-on practicum rather than necessitating a field trip. This is, again, a 2-year grant program totaling some $122,191. Our third major program is the second year of funding rocket-powered robotics, where we partner with Aerojet Rocketdyne. You may recall from last year's board presentations, the Subarus, our team out at Pahokee Middle School, not only won their local, absolutely, Ms. Andrews, and the state competition, they advanced all the way to the national competition. Dr. Denard has done an amazing job in that school. Coach Louis Paniagua was identified as the Coach of the Year by one of the National Robotics Associations, so Pahokee has much to be proud of. We were so proud of that program, we decided to fund them for a second year at a $15,000 level. Staying in Pahokee, partnering with the Ventus Charitable Foundation, is our Stepping Up STEM program. As we expand what we're doing in the middle school robotics, at the high school level, we're expanding into environmental and marine sciences. The goal there is to give the young people at Pahokee High School, now also under Dr. Denard's supervision, a chance to get some hands-on field experience. The next major grant is the Red Apple Supply Store, about which I'll speak shortly, partnering there with the Great Charity Challenge, Wells Fargo, and of course the Honda Classic. One of our stellar programs is the Closing the Achievement Gap with AVID. We at the Education Foundations are huge believers in the AVID program, which is now in 57 of our district schools. This year we have partnered with Bank of America, and we provided an $80,000 grant to the AVID program. The last of our matching grant programs is our Go Teach, and I'll speak about that shortly. So that's our big bucket, the matching grant program. This year we awarded grants totaling $493,994.24. So half of that was provided by the state CFEF. The other half was all provided by local business partners who provided those matching dollars. Our second bucket is a somewhat smaller bucket. It's our Go Teach classroom grants. This year we awarded 61 of those, totaling just over $63,000. These grants go to individual teachers, or in some cases they are collaborating. An individual teacher can receive a grant of up to $775. A collaborative effort can receive a grant of $1,275. Again, looking at innovative, creative programs where they're reaching children in two basic areas. We tend to focus heavily on STEM and also on reading and literacy, which certainly is in alignment with the district's programs. I would add, on all of these programs, we have to ensure that they are in alignment with not only the Florida state standards, but our own district strategic plan. Every program we fund is certainly in alignment with your 5-year strategic plan. So the second major bucket is our Go Teach grants. As I said, this year we've awarded $63,000 in that. Our third bucket is what I call program-specific grants. These are business partnerships we have formed where they're neither the matching grant nor are they Go Teach, and this year there are 3 of them. The one which you happily announced just at our former board meeting a month ago, JP Morgan Chase has provided a $200,000 grant to assist the Fire Science Academy at Palm Beach Lakes High School. The second, what I call program-specific grant, is Connecting Social Justice and STEM down at Village Academy. Our partner here is Motorola Solutions and Aerojet Rocketdyne. They're letting the children use geographic information systems to solve real-world problems. So these young people down at Delray are really getting a high-tech look at how to solve real problems of population, water maintenance, conservation, etc. That is a $6,000 grant which was awarded, again, through Motorola Solutions and also our partners at Aerojet Rocketdyne. Our third of our program-specific grant programs is the Florida Power and Light Empowering STEM Educators. This was a $14,500 grant, FP&L partnering with Aerojet Rocketdyne. What this grant is doing is identifying highly effective science and math teachers who have created techniques and instructional processes that are bearing fruit, and it allows other teachers to go to them for site visitations and then have a debrief afterwards so that they can bring these highly effective methodologies back to their local classroom. All told, this third bucket, our program-specific grants, we will be awarding grants of $220,500. So that's our grant-making side of things. Our second major operation is our Red Apple Supply Store. Many of you know Meredith Trim, who was a board member, was the driving force and continues to be so behind this effort. It was founded in the spring of 2016, so the whole effort is only 3 years old. In our first year, full academic year of operation, 2016-2017, Red Apple Supply Store served 8 schools. Last year we served 31 schools, and this year we are serving 42 schools. As I have shared with you in previous board meetings, these schools are those which have a demographic where 95% of the children are on free or reduced lunch. Our goal as we look forward is that by the end of next year, by the end of the 2019-2020 academic year, all of those schools will be serviced by Red Apple Supply. 4 years after that, our goal is that all Title I schools will be served by Red Apple Supply, and 4 to 5 years after that, our goal is that every school in Palm Beach County would be able to come to Red Apple Supply store, and that, as we say back home, God willing and the creek don't rise, never again would a teacher in Palm Beach County have to dip into their own pocket to buy school supplies for their young students. Last year, as we concluded that academic year, we found that over $270,000 of school supplies had been distributed to our local teachers. We believe that this year we are on target to distribute about $400,000 to the local teachers. When you total all that up, the matching grant program, the Go Teach grants, the program-specific grants, as well as our projection for Red Apple Supply, you will see that we're projecting this year to bring to the school district a value of about $1,177,557.24. All of this provided not only through the state of Florida, but more importantly by our local business partners. I cannot emphasize enough how exciting it is to see the business community who has rallied behind Red Apple Supply Store. Just this year alone, since July, 66 individual businesses have had supply drives to support Red Apple Supply, and certainly the presence of Office Depot having their corporate headquarters here in Palm Beach County is a huge boon as well. And so again, the business community is stepping into that gap. We do some other things in addition to our grant making and our Red Apple Supply operation. We serve as the fiscal agent for a number of different contributors and foundations, including we administer the funds for the FFEA. We administer what is called the Winner's Scholarship, and I'm probably going to embarrass Mr. Tanser to my right. It's a program dear to him. The Winner's Scholarship was founded by Hermine Dresner and her late husband, Jan Winkler, who just passed a year ago. They go into schools, and it's the criteria for receiving a Winner's Scholarship. The children are in elementary school. They're given a $1,000 scholarship, but they have to be the first person from their family to attend college. And so as they go into college years down the road, that money has been kept in escrow. It's gathered interest. Mr. Tanser funds the program at C.O. Taylor Kirklane, the school from which he graduated a few years ago, and it was rather emotional at the last just a couple. At the last presentation, Mr. Taylor himself was there, who was Ed's principal, and to see these two together, it was just, there weren't too many dry eyes. And so this is the type of business relationship that we form, and again, this is the type of passion people have. The Winner's Scholarship right now is funding about 250 students with those $1,000 scholarships. The third service we provide is Find It, Fund It. We administer that program for the district, and that is a crowdsourced funding platform that was created by the CFEF. So you can see there's a lot going on down at the Ed Foundation. As we form these business partnerships, it's not just about the dollars. I believe at a previous board meeting I shared with you our partnership with Pratt Whitney, where they brought some of their female engineers down to Boynton Beach High School about 5 weeks ago and did a 2-hour seminar encouraging women to look at careers in STEM through the education network that was live streamed into 5 other high schools, encouraging our females to really take a good look at the hard sciences and aviation. We're now working on a similar project with Aerojet Rocketdyne, who would go down to Village Academy in Delray and encourage minority students to think about math, science, and certainly aeronautical engineering as possibilities. So those are the types of things we do. Whenever I speak to the business community, what I say to them is, yes, of course we want your dollars, but we also want to put the boots on the ground because that's what really changes lives. When our current agreement was created between the school district and the Education Foundation back in 2014-2015, the annual investment from the school district was $200,000 a year. Back then we were essentially a staff of 4. There were 3 full-time and 1 part-time, the 1 part-time being an outsourced accountant. The students being served at that time was 25,000, and the ROI, the return on investment, the amount of grant funding that the Ed Foundation brought in those years ago was roughly $540,000. Fast forward to this year. We are here essentially to ask for an increase in the annual investment from the school district to the Ed Foundation from $200,000 to $350,000. Why is that? Well, we're now a staff of 7. But remember something, 2 of those 7 are Red Apple Supply. They're over at the Red Apple Supply store handling all of that distribution, collection, supply drives, and whatnot. We're essentially doing what we were doing before with 4 people with 5 and kind of hanging on for dear life. As I said 4 years ago, we served roughly 25,000 students. Right now, the programs that are being funded by the Education Foundation are touching 95,000 students in Palm Beach County. Your ROI, as I said earlier, what the value, just in terms of pure dollars of funding that we bring to the school district is $1,177,557.24. In addition, since its inception 2.5 years ago, the Red Apple Supply Store has distributed over $500,000 in free school supplies to our local teachers. What will the increase in the annual investment from the school district allow the Ed Foundation to do? Very simple. Number one, maintain our staffing levels appropriate to the programmatic and administrative needs of the foundation. As we are growing, we simply need to grow our staff. As Red Apple Supply grows, we need to grow the staff and the facility and the operations there. Number one, not only maintain, but increase our current level of program support. I'm happy that we're up to just under 1.2 million. I hope I can sit here 4 years from now and say, we're giving you $2 million in grants to support our local teachers. That's what we do, all brought in from the local business community. Third and finally, increase the assets, both human, material, and capital, required to expand our Red Apple Supply Store. That is quickly becoming our signature program. You've seen the growth from 4 to 8 to 31 to 42, 51 next year, and ultimately the sky is the limit. In conclusion, I return to our mission statement. Our goal, our mission as an Ed Foundation is to go to the business community and bring them here, to let them fill in the gaps where the funding sometimes doesn't exist, to identify our most creative, innovative, and effective teachers and make sure they have the tools they need to carry out their mission. The business community in Palm Beach County stands with us. I believe they realize the wisdom of the old African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. And our business community wants to stand in there and support us and support you as well. Finally, I thank you as school board members and certainly the staff, Dr. Fenoy, Amity Schuyler, the entire team at the district for your amazing support of the Education Foundation. I want to thank our board of directors who not only commit their time and their prodigious talent, but their treasure as well. Our champions of education are almost all filled up with our board members who have committed their business dollars to make sure that our teachers have the tools they need. It takes a village, and that village is brought to us by the Education Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. I'll take any questions or comments if you have.
Sure, I'm sure we have lots of comments, but you just said you thank us for supporting you. I think that the thank you goes the other direction. I mean, you guys are an amazing group that has done so much for the school district, so I'm sure you're going to hear it from my colleagues, but from me personally, thank you so much for all you've done. It's just an amazing job supporting our students and our teachers and in our schools, and I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mrs. Whitfield.
Thank you. I wanted to jump in and say that I think the work that you are doing and your staff is doing is something that is just vital to the work that we do here. I think bringing in the people from the community and giving them the opportunity to support their schools through programming that they can be proud of and things that they specifically would like to see happen in their schools is amazing. I think the work you're doing is unbelievable, and I wanted to also throw in the operating dollars issue. I think that for somebody who's worked on grants for a very long time, it is much easier to find funding and grant money to support programming and to support exciting ideas. Nobody wants to pay the electric bill / bills of the salaries, and I think that's where we really should come in as a school district. I'm excited for the opportunity to watch you grow. I think that you are going to continue to do amazing things here. I'm very proud of the work that you're doing, and I'm excited for this opportunity to be able to support you. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything you're doing. I'm very, very proud of you. I'm very proud of the work that you're doing, and I'm so glad we have you. Please never go anywhere. I really, really, really enjoy having you here. Also, Mr. Tanser, thank you so much for all your support and for bringing the community to us through your work. You are also not allowed to leave. Thank you.
Mrs. Brill.
Thank you. And I have to tell my colleagues on the board that this Education Foundation is not the same Education Foundation that existed when I joined the board. The transition is like night and day. The organization has grown. You see how it's aligned with our priorities, but they listen. They do so much for us, help our teachers. It's a pleasure to serve on your board. I do want to take a moment out, though, to congratulate James, who was honored on National Philanthropy Day recently as the Outstanding Fundraising Professional of the Year. And we see that in his work, so congratulations from all of us. And, we're just getting bigger and better. The initiatives are just amazing. So I'm looking forward to other ways that we're going to grow, and absolutely 100% support the organization, and thank you, because whether it's the logo and the change in image, the development of the board, the development of the teamwork, it's just an absolute pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. I appreciate that.
Mrs. Andrews.
And thank you. You know, I attend a lot of your events, and I look forward to hearing you at the board meetings. You excite us all with your passion for what has to happen for the boys and girls in Palm Beach County, the programs. You are exciting, and this is why the business partners cannot say no to you when you come out there and tell them what we need to do to help our children with success. And so as I spoke with you the other day, I told you that we want to nominate you for one of those big awards at the state level. I'm listening to Orange County and all these other people, and I say, we've got you beat. And so next year, I want to see you out there with a big award for all the work that you've done. I've seen it grow over the years, and you are the match for Palm Beach County to take us to the next level, which you have already done, and there's so many things else to come because of your leadership. And the business community, thank you so much. The board, I've been there when the teachers got the scholarship money, when Pahokee has the robotics team that travels all across. I've been there to see all of these pieces. And we're just so excited to know we're on the ground now making some tremendous impacts in the lives of children. So I thank both of you. I want to say a special thank you to all of the board members, you for leading, as well as all the business partners. And whatever this school district can do, as I sit here with my team, we're going to do what we can to take it on to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Superintendent? Thank
Yes,
you.
that concludes our workshops for today,
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman.
All right, we have 3 board discussion items. Dr. Robinson, removing